Hello, welcome back to the Joseph Singh Show. Welcome to the second episode of this show, and one where we have a array of topics to talk about today. As I'm recording this about 3 days after the first episode went live. So where should we start? Well, let's start with very successful and high regarded car manufacturer Koenigsegg, who have released a new car based on the Jesko called the Sadair Spear. This car I think it's meant to be like a sequel to the Jesko or the Jesko. Forgotten how you pronounce the name, to be honest, but yeah, it does give off the impression of a Jesko, but there are things about it that are very very much an upgrade from the Jesko, which are very when you're thinking about a Koenigsegg car, there's not many other car manufacturers that can push the limits of automobile design in the way that Koenigsegg can. So, but interestingly enough, they said underneath their Instagram post, "Name a better hypercar than this. We'll wait." And in my infinite wisdom, and just I don't know if this is wisdom or if this is kind of silly, but I'll put the Porsche 919 Evo, which was the evolution of the 2017 hypercar, 2017 Le Mans LMP1 car from Porsche, and it's pretty much a record-breaking car. It's essentially the LMP1 regulations taken to the extreme. So yeah, I'm interested to know if because Koenigsegg, they can make good cars in the straight line speeds, but I don't know what their cornering speeds are going to be like, because they seem to produce cars with a lot of understeer, especially as of recent. Cars with a lot of understeer, and you have to have a lot of precision and a lot of skill to keep control of the car through the corners, similar to a 1980s or 1970s F1 car. Really having to struggle to get around every corner and trying to be as precise as you can whilst trying to tame a line, essentially. So, yeah, very interested to know what that would be like, and I'm interested to know if, the Koenigsegg, if they're interested in any kind of motorsport in terms of Le Mans or anything like that. Because I think if they did make a prototype Le Mans car, that would be one of the most talked about things in Le Mans, easily. And then in GT3, I think there's that new Lexus GT3 that's going to enter very soon by the Toyota brand, with their sister, their luxury car brand being advertised on the front of it. Being Lexus. There's Toyota and Lexus, they're kind of in a partnership similar to Land Rover and Jaguar, and also the Volkswagen and a lot of other manufacturers like Porsche, Audi, not Jaguar, lots of other car brands that viewers will probably know more than me. Google will know them all. So yeah, that's the news on Koenigsegg and their new Sadair Spear. But moving on, we have a feature on the F1 game that I'd like to talk about. Now, on F1, so Codemasters and EA have made the F1 games since 2009, and it's not only the F1 games that they've made. They've made rally games, they've made F1 race stars, which they need to bring back like right now, but besides the point. And they also made the Grid series, and in 2014, the same year that they changed from the old F1 Ego engine to the new one, they made Grid Autosport, and in this game, from 11 years ago, is a feature from F1 25 that hasn't been used in F1, reverse tracks. And in the reverse tracks feature, you know, purely because Grid was more a motorsport based game, so it wasn't all the F1 tracks on the calendar, but there were 5.
No, there wasn't. There was 8 tracks in Grid Autosport that you could play in reverse. That is a big mistake by me.
Which is more than the F1 tracks of the F1 25 game. There's only 3 reverse tracks. And one of the reverse tracks, I think even 2 maybe, but yeah, it's Austria, isn't it? There's Austria, which is a backwards track in Grid Autosport and a backwards track in F1 25. I'm pretty sure Silverstone's a backwards track as well, but I didn't find that out. But what I do know is that Austria, maybe Silverstone, Turkey, Istanbul Park is a reverse track. Portugal, in a different layout, is a reverse track. The Belgian Grand Prix at Spa, which is an incredible track in reverse. The Bathurst track, used for the Bathurst 1000, is in reverse as well. And Jarama, which is a Spanish track, if I'm not mistaken, Spanish or Portuguese, one of those two. And rather fittingly, Sepang in Malaysia, which is a track that in my mind has to be brought back to the calendar. That track, you know, it's definitely one of the best tracks that they ever had on the calendar. It's been gone since 2017, and it's kind of obscure that it's been gone for this long. You know, I don't really know the full reason behind why it was gone. From my mind, it was due to FIA grading standards, or it was a lack of funding, one of those two. But yeah, it's a bit obscure that Malaysia's got it. It's still in use today for things like the Asian Le Mans series and things like that. But yeah, it's been gone for a while. I think it's used for MotoGP as well. But I think, you know, Malaysia was one of the first tracks that I watched F1 on in 2013. I don't remember Multi-21 that well, in terms of when I actually watched it, but I remember watching Hamilton go into the wrong pit box because he moved from McLaren to Mercedes in that year. So he went into the McLaren pit box instead of the Mercedes one. And I also remember Fernando Alonso losing his front wing and trapped under both of his tyres, which was something mad to watch. And yeah, Malaysia, it's got so much history behind it, and it's also got such a good potential for good racing, no matter the cars. So I'm surprised that it hasn't been used for this long. But moving on, what should we talk about next? I think we should talk about stuff I'm doing in commentary, I guess. So, over the last 3 days, I've been invited into a couple commentary positions that I may be posting about. One of them being something that I released early on the channel, but for those who didn't see, play the trailer.
2.3 seconds away from McLaren here, and they're about to go 3-1.
So, SRL's coming back after its hiatus in 2023, a league that had started in 2020, ran up until 2023, and is now coming back in 2025 on F1 25. So, yeah, it'll be a good league, and I'm going to be commentating on that. So, I reckon it'll be a good watch as well. As there's some quick drivers, there's also some slightly slower drivers, and that kind of mix always panned out into quite good racing for some reason. You know, similar to ALR, there was fast drivers in that, there was slow drivers in that, and it made for almost like a two-class race almost, of like having a battle at the front of the field, having a battle at the back of the field. It made for some quite frantic action. So I'm excited to see what that does. As well in Formula Asphalt as well, in the latter stages of that championship, there was fast drivers and slow drivers, and they would often mix as well, which was the mad thing about Formula Asphalt in its later years. See, that league's going to be on F125 as well, so I'm going to be posting about Formula Asphalt as well, and also VRT. I'm going to be racing in VRT on F125. They're doing the V1 Europa F2 cars for F125, but they've still got some F124 races to do as well, so you'll see me posting about those. So yeah, that's all I've got for the sim racing side of it. Meanwhile, I've been invited to commentate a few other things as well. I got invited to commentate at the Watergate Bay Sprint in the 20th and 21st of September. So I'm looking to hopefully go there. Also the Wiscombe Park Hill Climb, maybe going there, but I think that's probably less. I don't know if that's going to be as likely as the Watergate Bay Sprint. But I would love to go. And obviously any opportunity to commentate, I'm not really going to turn down. So yeah, I'm just looking to branch my network out and commentate on more and more events, and that seems to be the road, pretty much. So yeah, I think that's it for now. Before I go, there's some clips from the F1 games from over the years that I would like to show you all. So we're going to end on that note, similar to the last episode, ending on some F1 game fun moments. So yeah.
So here we go then. Fun F1 game glitches that may surprise you. Let's see what happens here in F1 2015. It's a very dizzy episode here for this Lotus. And we're here a year later on F1 2016, and that's me and Toro Rosso absolutely obliterating Nico Hulkenberg. And that same week I had that massive shunt flying through the air. And then 3 years later we have a role in F1 2019 in my early open lobby stage of learning racecraft and learning the game. Then on F1 2021 a 1v1 with a mate, and well, we roll. And it's a big shunt, the tie barrier. That's why you don't cross the track in a Assetto Corsa, because it leads to a huge shunt. And, and there's another car involved in the background. This is me and AJ Curtis this week. AJ Curtis in the Alpine, me in the Sauber. And we head through the S's section. Side by side nearly, Ashley. Block passing. And then he runs wide, he spins, and he hits into my car. Let's hear Ashley's reaction of that.
I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.